Hey guys, it's Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and I have a very, very, very exciting announcement. We have, as a channel, hit 10,000 subscribers, which means there are 10,000 people out there who, for some reason or another, signed up to watch me talk about very strange things on the internet. And I am so incredibly grateful for the opportunity to have a platform to share my hobby and my interests, as well as get the opportunity to talk to so many different collectors and interesting people through the magic of the internet. And so in order to celebrate this 10,000 number that we finally hit on the channel, I have decided to do a little giveaway. I'm going to give you some more details about the giveaway at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around toward the end. But I also wanted to share what I did this summer, which is thrift. Basically, every weekend, every free day I had, I was at a thrift store. Over the years, I've gotten better and better at buying secondhand or buying used. It's made things a little bit more sustainable for me. It's also a little bit more affordable than buying new things, at least in my area. And so at the start of the summer, I had a list of things I wanted to find at thrift stores, antique stores, in my travels this summer, so that I could have them for my new apartment here where I am at now, and other things I just needed in my life. So I started with kind of a wish list, and over the course of the summer, I kind of thrifted everything on that wish list, and I wanted to share with you my thrifting adventures through the course of the summer. So on my list, which I kept all summer, I had hall tree, bar stools, baskets, cowboy boots. I don't have an explanation for that one. Little gold brass frames. I have a gallery wall in my office that has a bunch of gold frames in it, and I wanted to collect these over the course of the summer so I could add to that gallery wall in my office. I can finally hang things on the walls. You have no idea how exciting that is. As well as find some mugs for work. I have a project that I'm working on. I'm a college professor, and in one of my classes, I wanted to have a coffee cart that I could wheel in and out of the classroom for our discussion days. So I wanted to find a coffee cart as well as items for that coffee cart, like mugs. In addition to all these wish list items, I also had items that I typically pick up, like DVDs that are missing from my collection, things from my mom's antiques booth. She collects Cubist dishware, which is from either the 1930s or from the 1960s, depending on the make of it, as well as pottery, floral items. So I wanted to collect some items for her, and I also started working on my Christmas gift list. So I wanted to find some of those items now, because when you are thrifting or buying secondhand, it can take you a little while to find things. And this is how my summer went.
Trying to find a good place for you to balance where you can see me and what I'm talking about. Hey, that might work. So today's April 30th. I went to the Salvation Army because I had an hour before I had to go into my office hours, and I found some good things. So one of the things I'm looking for this summer is stuff for my mom, and we've seen these a few times but never purchased them. This is the milk glass version of her Cubist ware. It was $3.99 at the Salvation Army. This is This is the sugar dish, so now I gotta look for the creamer in this, but I always think these are interesting, so I did find that. Okay, so I accidentally went to the Salvation Army again. It was to drop off stuff, but I also then ran into some things while I was there, so I wanted to show you guys what I got. These first two things are for my mom, who has an antiques booth, and she also collects this stuff, so if she decides not to keep it, she can put it in her antiques booth. But I got her the creamer from the Cubist collection. I believe this one's probably Fostoria. I don't remember. It's got the different bottom. It's not Jeanette, but this is the Cubist, and this one was $3.99. I also found, and this is a little bit more expensive, I was surprised by how expensive the Salvation Army was today, but I did find this, and these are hard for us to find. This is a dish, again Cubist, and it's teal, and this one was $12.99. So another cool find. If she doesn't want it, she can always resell it, but when I see that stuff and it's under $20, it's kind of a no-brainer to pick up. Finally, got something at this Goodwill. I found a basket for $2. If you've ever tried to buy new baskets at like Home Goods or TJ Maxx, they're like $15. So this one's a little beat up, but it is perfect for Drama's cat toys in the new apartment. So I think that'll work out pretty well, and it's only $2, so not really that bad of a deal. So it's Memorial Day weekend. It is the town yard sale in my new town because I'm moving. And I went to a bunch of yard sales this morning and picked up a few things, including a ladder, which is not pictured here. But I now have tons of things to clean for my new apartment. I've got lots of baskets. I picked up these two at a yard sale, and then I picked up this hall tree unit that came with these baskets. So now I've got to go through and clean everything. And it's like 98 degrees outside. So I went to a flea market this morning, and I've been searching for just like a few things for the apartment. And I wound up with some stuff I didn't need, but I wanted. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, and I grew up on VeggieTales, so I found Lord of the Beans. If you know, you know. And I had to have it. Then I got Prometheus on Blu-ray, so this is one of the Alien films. I have all the Alien films except for this one. I love them. New one's coming out this summer. They're terrible, I know that, but I like having all of them. So I had to get this as well. And then I also got this letter box. It looks like wood, but it's actually Bakelite. So it's got a wood texture to it. Really solid, heavy, nice piece, but I do a lot of like stationery and pen pal letters, so I thought this would be a really nice addition to the desk. And then the other thing I got was this stained glass lighthouse light. You can't see it because it's in a top sheet bag, but I have a couple friends who got married and who got married on a beach, and so this is going to be their wedding gift. But it was just a really nice, cute little piece, and while I was there, she was trying to get rid of stuff, so she gave me a very used pie plate. So now I have a pie plate. But that was my little haul from a quick little flea market stop.
There were quite a few items that I found over the course of the summer that I just got really excited about finding. And they came in a couple different forms and functions. I think probably the most useful thing I bought this summer was actually a Dunkin' Donuts mug. So as you might have noticed on this channel, I drink a lot of coffee, and I often talk about Dunkin' coffee because it's the cheapest drive-through option where I am, and it's a little bit of a problem, I will admit. But I do like to go quite often, and I found a few Dunkin' mugs in my travels and my thrifting, and I found this one. It's a little bit more vintage looking. It's probably like a diner mug style, but with the Dunkin' branding. I use this every single morning, so it was probably the most useful purchase. I did find this when I was thrifting with my mom, and it's something that I literally use every day. Another purchase that I made this summer that I didn't expect to be very exciting was this desk organizer that I found at a flea market. We have a local flea market that happens on weekends in my area, and I was just walking around looking for things. I had also purchased a present for a friend, and I found this desk organizer. It's made of plastic, and they only wanted $1 for it, and I needed one for my desk, so I did purchase one. But after I did purchase that desk organizer, I've seen it pop up all over Facebook Marketplace as something from the 1970s by a designer, David Lerner. So that was a pretty cool find. I've actually seen two now on Facebook Marketplace in my area, and when you look it up, it comes from the 70s, and it's listed anywhere between $20 and $40 for resale. So not bad for a $1 purchase. Something else that I got really excited about while I was thrifting this summer was my trip to Adamstown. I went with my mom and my sister to the antiques capital of the US, Adamstown, PA. It's only about an hour and 20 minutes from where I live, and I did find something on that trip. I typically don't buy a lot of things at full price in antique stores, but one of the antique stores we visited had a flea market side, stuff that's been outside for a while that's a little waterlogged and kind of not perfect. And in the wreckage, I found a plastic bag around this toy typewriter part. It's not a full toy typewriter, but it looks like one of those dial typewriters or simplex machines that you've probably seen in antique stores before. I bought it because it was $5 and I was going to buy it regardless of that price. And what I really found interesting was as I Google Lensed it, I couldn't find much information about it. I did then post it to my Instagram, and I learned that this particular toy typewriter is from 1903 as the celebration of the Louisiana Purchase. There are a few that are in complete condition, but it is really difficult to find these souvenir toy typewriters. And now I have something that's way over 100 years old in my collection. I'm just fascinated by this find, and I'm really excited to do a little bit more research and some restoration because it was missing the board that went under it, but the mechanics are all there, and I think it's going to be a really interesting project. So I guess check back in at a later date for that video. Speaking of typewriters, I did purchase quite a few typewriters this summer. I have been consistently on the I'm going to sell my typewriters streak. I keep saying that, and I do have quite a few listed on Facebook Marketplace in my local area, but I find that typewriter sales are kind of few and far between. When I sell one, it allows me to buy a few more, but once I got to the new apartment, I kind of picked up a few typewriters rather rapidly because they were all at really good prices. Now, when I go to buy a new typewriter, I do have quite a few limitations for myself just so I don't get completely overwhelmed with machines here in my apartment, but I set myself mostly a price limit of $25. If it's under $25, it's pretty easy for me to say yes to that machine. Even if it's not something that I normally would be gravitating toward, I find that that price point allows me a little bit of wiggle room to clean it, repair it, make a video on it for YouTube, and then also maybe resell it if I'm not going to keep it or give it away. So I did find a few typewriters over the course of this summer, and I've gone through the process of cleaning all of them and repairing all of them and turning them all into videos for the YouTube channel. The first one I bought this summer was a Remington from the 1940s. I bought this for $20 at an estate sale at the beginning of the summer. It was in really rough condition, but I'm so pleased with the results of this project. I learned how to redo rubber on the rollers of this machine, and I'm just fascinated by how well it continues to work. I've previously not loved Remingtons all that much. Personally, I find the ribbon mechanism really confusing, and I just don't seem to keep a Remington around. But I was really excited that I did find this machine because I do really like the aesthetics of it, as well as the functionality of this machine. I think this is one I might keep for a little while. Another purchase I made this summer in the typewriter circuit was a Royal Scrittore, or Scrittore. This is a machine actually made in 2012, so it's not that old, but I did find it at a Goodwill for $13. I don't usually find typewriters at my local Goodwill. They seem to ship them off to Shop Goodwill, but I did buy this one because it was $13 and I hadn't seen it before. And now I have that. Another very exciting purchase that I added to my collection was a brother that I bought at a flea market that had a Spanish keyboard. So that was a new project for me as well, and something a little bit different. I did purchase this for $20, and it was a really easy clean and something really kind of different to sink my teeth into when it comes to researching. I love researching stuff for these videos. It's probably my favorite part of making them anymore. And so for me, this was a nice little rabbit hole to kind of fall into. But my absolute best typewriter purchase of this summer was my very first Hermes machine, and I'm going to make a whole video about this, but I did buy a Hermes Ambassador for $20 off of Facebook Marketplace, and I'm really excited about it. Outside of typewriter purchases, I did also buy a few other things this summer that go into the more kind of vintagey area. In addition to my Dunkin' mugs, I did find a few other pieces of dishware that I'm really excited about. One thing I've been looking for all summer is a set of these stackable Japanese mugs, or mugs made in Japan. They're from the 1970s, some of them I think because I've seen them on the internet, but I have seen these little stackable mugs on every single video I watch. I've seen a few in person. I found a few at the Asbury Antique Mall, as well as at an estate sale I went to last year, but I haven't been able to find just the right set for me. I did just this morning find a set of 3 for $1. So I think I'll be taking these into work with my coffee cart, which I did purchase a coffee cart to take into work, and here's a little footage of that.
Okay, you want to help? Yeah? Anyways, one of the things on my thrift list was a cart. I wanted a wheelie cart. I am teaching a class next semester where I want to have coffee once a week. So I want to like wheel in a coffee cart. So I was looking for some sort of like tea cart, coffee cart. I looked at a couple different options, utility carts, things on Facebook Marketplace. I just wasn't finding anything that I really thought was a good value for the price. I went to a church rummage sale in New Jersey, part of PA somewhere, and I ran into this cart. Now it's a plastic utilitarian cart that, you know, it has really good casters on it. It's a little beat up, so it's not the most interesting thing ever. But it was only $5. So I'm gonna clean it up, and that marks off another thing on my thrift list for this summer. Just, you never know what you're gonna find or how you're gonna use it. So it's really important to be open to different ideas and different things. and I guess drama is going to be assisting me in the cleaning process of my brand new coffee cart.
I really like having projects, and for me, finding the coffee cart was like a fun little project that I could sink my teeth into, and it gave me something to kind of look for and identify as I was out there thrifting. I wanted to make sure it was something that was really durable, something I could spill stuff on and not really worry too much about, something I could go in and out of the elevator, and just kind of utilitarian. It's not pretty to look at, but it'll do the job, and that's what I kind of like about thrifting, is if you have a picture in your mind of something that you need, if you're patient enough, you can probably find something that fits. Something else I got really into this summer was looking at Pyrex. So Pyrex is one of those collectible markets that kind of eludes me a little bit. I don't know a ton about Pyrex itself as a company or the different patterns that they have, but I see them in every single antique mall I go to, and I see them on Facebook Marketplace, and they seem to go for a lot of money on there. So I did want to start kind of looking into Pyrex, not just purchasing it for myself, but I want to do a little bit of experimenting in resale. So I did find a few Pyrex items as I was out thrifting for pretty reasonable prices that I did end up purchasing. The first one I bought was this casserole dish. I found this for $5 at my local Goodwill. At the beginning of the year, my Goodwill had just opened, and it really wasn't that well put together. There weren't many items there, but over the course of the last few months, it has really started to pick up, and there hasn't been a time in the last 2 months that I've gone into that Goodwill and not walked out with $20 worth of stuff. So it was really exciting to find a piece of Pyrex there, and it was my first Pyrex piece in this apple orchard or country orchard pattern. Really exciting to see it, no chips, no cracks, and that went really well. It then kind of inspired me to pick up a few more Pyrex pieces. I was at a yard sale when I found this little creamer. I don't have the sugar, but it is in this blueberry pattern. I bought it for $1. So for someone who's missing this creamer, I have that for them, and I'll be able to find that home for them. The other purchase I made, I was in a it was a thrift store, and I was walking through the last aisle, and I noticed these bowls here, and I picked out the inner bowl to see if there was a pattern, and it was the same apple orchard pattern that I had on my casserole dish. So I picked these up for $12. I figured I could sell them as a set, these two bowls with the casserole dish, or maybe find someone who has the other bowls and needs these replacements. I grew up in a household that used Pyrex dishes. My grandmother had Pyrex dishes, has them. We use them every day. And I very distinctly remember the little Pyrex coffee mugs. And today, while I was out at Goodwill, I found a set of 4 Pyrex coffee mugs in this old country pattern in blue for $2 each. So I did purchase 4 of those as well. I'm very excited about this. I want to see what it's like reselling in this market. I know that they're collectible. I also know that they're pretty sturdy pieces of just dishware in general. And I'm willing to sit with them a little bit because I've purchased them at low enough of a price that I'm willing to wait it out until someone really needs this or I can find the right home for them. But it's an area that I've not done much research in, and I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. And I did buy my cowboy boots. They weren't in a thrift store, but I found these on ThredUp for under $30, and they're exactly what I needed. In fact, I wore them to a Bob Dylan concert. I picked up lots of little odds and ends. I really like using thrifting specifically to go out and find gifts for other people or things for other people. When someone tells me that they like something, I really try hard to find that for them. It also gives me a little bit of a focus when I'm going to antique malls, flea markets, antique stores, thrift stores. It can get really overwhelming really quickly when you walk into one of these locations, but if you know what you're looking for or have your eyes kind of set to look for specific things, it can really help focus that energy and help you last a little bit longer out there in the field as you're picking up items. So I found having this list of things that I need not only helps me get items that are secondhand I feel a little bit better about having, but it also helps me focus when I'm in those locations looking for those specific items. And since I love thrifting for other people so much, that's what I'm going to do for my giveaway. So over the course of the summer, I have also been collecting items for you guys, my viewers, and I'm going to turn them into a giveaway here on the channel to celebrate 10,000 subscribers, because I honestly just wanted to buy stuff for you, and I needed an excuse to give it away. So here's what we're gonna do. I have a link to a Google form down in my description box. Now this is open to USA only because I can't afford to ship internationally, but I did put together some mystery boxes and mystery packages of thrifted items for you, and I'm going to be giving those away randomly. So if you go in and enter in that Google form, it'll ask you for your email and your level of interest in different themed baskets. So I have a trinkets themed box, a coffee themed box, and a stationery themed box, but a few things that I've picked up along the way that I think you might like. Now, there's no value associated to these in any kind of way, and this giveaway is not associated with YouTube or any social media platform. This is just me thrifting things for my online viewers and giving them away to you. So once you fill out that Google form, I will pick some winners. I will email those winners using the email that you use on the Google form. And once you respond to me, I'll ship you your giveaway package. Again, only open to the US. I apologize so much for my international viewers, but we're balling on a budget here, and my budget only includes shipping in the United States. So go through and fill out that Google form. I will alert the winners via email, and I will be using the official Just My Typewriter email. Don't answer any emails from anybody else. It's just me on that email, and once you respond to me, I'll be happy to send you your mystery thrift box. But I'm so thankful for the support that I have from this whole group of people out there. I know that I started with typewriters and I've expanded a little bit into some different areas, and not every video might be for you, but I'm so excited to have this many people out there and excited about typewriters and interested enough to throw out a subscribe. So thank you so much for supporting me over the past 6 years. Oh, it's been 6 years since I started, and I'm just so overwhelmed with gratitude. Thank you so much for your continued just support. It means a lot. This little hobby that was just a thing to kind of kill time for me has turned into, I don't want to use the word obsession, but we're like pretty close to that level, and I'm just so honored that you spend this time with me here on these videos. So thank you so much for your time and for your continued support, and I hope this giveaway is just a little bit of some reciprocation from my end. I'm just so honored and so happy to be able to do this for you in return. That being said, if you're interested in more typewriter videos, there are some more on this channel, as well as at my Instagram at just.my.typewriter. I want to thank you all so much for watching, for supporting me, for being here over the past 6 years. I really appreciate you, and I want to remind you all that you're just my typewriter. I did buy this little plant stand for Drama to sit on, like her own personal couch, for $5 at Goodwill, but we have yet to conquer the couch. We're not interested in this piece yet. We'll get there.